Hey guys, Tyler Ansman here with Tyler Ansman Performance. So what we're going to talk about today is how we can use constraints in kind of a higher velocity kind of stimulus situation, as well as just kind of in our initial drill work leading into throwing day. All right, so most of you guys are probably used to using your constraints or your drill work kind of at the beginning of a day in a low intensity context. And that's totally fine. It's kind of part of what we want to do. We want to be feeling out the movements that we're looking for. These are the initial throws for the day, so we're kind of using this as additionally as kind of a warm-up piece. All right, so we're not just going to get right into full intensity throwing right off the bat. But constraints testing can offer us a couple of opportunities, right? Because we can kill a couple of birds with a single stone. And so one of those opportunities is we can get both a high velocity stimulus and kind of a patterning change stimulus from one element, right? So for example, if we have somebody maybe who's having some arm action issues, maybe they can put together kind of really good numbers during a pull down or pretty good numbers during a pull down. But then when we get them into a more stationary context where the upper body is isolated, the numbers are very, very low, and their mound numbers are maybe lower than we expect. So maybe we found this weakness and we really want to isolate that. So it allows us to kind of really go after this one component in both a patterning and a stimulus kind of way to really get at this and kind of make these changes on the way to improving that mound velocity. So that's one piece. The second piece is this can also, because it's constrained, it allows us, maybe we're in the beginning of kind of our higher intensity cycle coming off of an on-ramp. This allows us to kind of lower that kind of stress a little bit because since it's a constraint drill, it's going to be lower than what we see out of their mound velocity, things like that. They're not going to be able to touch these like supra maximal velocities they will from a pull down or things like that, which immediately makes those elements much more stressful than the constraints testing. Okay. The other piece is this allows us to kind of get a feel for where their weaknesses really lie, kind of going back to that first piece, where their weaknesses really lie, so we can really continue to hone in on these pieces as we're kind of like working on the program, as we have this kind of cycle laid out. We're making modifications as we go based on what we're seeing pop up in these higher intensity sessions. All right, and so this could be something where we're using over and underload implements, right? During a testing session, we're using the radar gun. This can be something where we're mixing the drill work into long toss, which I think is generally a good idea. We can do all of these different things where we're kind of measuring output in some way or getting a feel for the output in some way, rather than just always using these in a lower intensity context where we're throwing into a wall from 5 feet away. Changing the environment is also a constraint. All right, so we want to keep our eye out for opportunities like that where it may be really helpful in some of these kind of emergent patterns that we're looking for. If you have kind of questions about this, want to talk more about our throwing program, what that looks like, feel free to drop a comment below, reach out an email. Look forward to hearing from you. Otherwise, thanks for watching.